Project E30 is getting a valve adjustment today, boys. Also, as a little bonus, I'm going to paint my valve cover. Starts like a champ. Off to go get gas and feeler gauges, and then we'll be back. Back from AutoZone, we got our feeler gauges, which is what we need, but the engine's very, very hot, and I'm not about to burn my hand, because that would be a stupid move. Ow! You're such a dumb bitch. So, wait maybe 10 or 15 minutes, let it cool down, like a responsible adult would. We're gonna use the ground as our canvas, and we're going to paint the valve cover black, and then I'm gonna sand off the bars and the BMW logo there. So that should look exquisite. I've got Scott's tools in the trunk.
I'm not Scott's tools.
Totally surpassed the entire thing on the valve adjustment, but here it is in section 4.4 of chapter 4 in the Bentley manual. The way this works is you've got a little bolt there on the side of your rocker, and you have to loosen that bolt, and then you can put an Allen key down into that little tiny hole there and then adjust the clearance of the valve and then tighten that bolt down, and then that's your adjustment. Deep down in the bowels of the engine here, pointing right there, is the camshaft lobe. And instead of worrying about if it's at top dead center or whatnot, make sure that the valve is just completely closed so that the lobe is facing the opposite way. So it's at like the bottom of the egg so that it has no lift to it. It's as close to the camshaft as possible. That will ensure that your valve is closed, and then that means that you'll get the best valve adjustment. That is awesome. Okay, good. Oh. Good. These are the feeler gauges. They usually don't come bent 90 degrees, but that is a huge help in doing this process. If you want to pull the camera in, I'll show you how to maneuver this. So each one of these are your valve rockers. On the rocker, like I showed you, that's where you put your Allen key to help make the adjustment. This is the locking nut that you have to loosen before you can move this. And what you have to do in using the feeler gauges is go down underneath here, and you'll be able to feel where it slots in between the bottom of the rocker and the top of the valve spring. There should be, if you're using the correct adjustment, and this is 0.012 on a warm engine, there should be a slight amount of drag whenever you put this in. That means that that is pretty much the perfect spec. Out comes the reassembly. I did a terrible job of painting this, but I think it actually looks pretty cool. I'm gonna redo it eventually. All I had was like some Rust-Oleum rust inhibiting primer, and as you can see, all the drips and the glops, and I only had 40 grit sandpaper, so I like ripped this to shreds, and then I went over it with 2000 grit because I thought that was a good idea.
Actually, it was 1000.
1000 grit? All right, whatever.
Doesn't do anything.
But reassembly is exactly the same as disassembly, except in backwards. And so in backwards, put all your things down there, your nuts, and then put this back on, and then reattach the vacuum hose, and then it'll be all back together, and then we will show you how this thing sounds after we're done. That sounds really quiet. Ha!